And welcome back to Newsmax Now. Joining us now is Professor at Bentley University and attorney Stephen J.J. Weisman. We want to continue to follow some breaking news that we brought you earlier. The New York Stock Exchange halted trading due to technical issues. DHS says there are no signs of malicious activity. We want to know, Stephen, what's your take on everything that's going on? Because this seems like a really big deal to us.
You know, Miranda, it is a really big deal, and it's a really big deal whether it is a hacking or not a hacking. At the moment, yes, even paranoids have enemies, and we have no reason to expect that at this point in time that it was hackers. However, it does show the vulnerability of the system. It could well be that this was just like the first test of hackers to see about infiltrating our infrastructure as far as Wall Street and the economy goes. And it does show how vulnerable we are, the fact that these systems can break down like this. So whether it's done by problems with the technology itself or vulnerability to outside hacking, you know, we are too dependent on these computer systems and on the internet to allow these kinds of glitches to occur.
And Stephen J.J., this comes on the heels earlier this morning. United grounded flights for over an hour. They were actually writing out paper tickets at one particular time. Does that make you even more inclined that this could be some sort of cyber attack?
Well, actually, that made me a little bit less inclined, because this is the second time that this has happened to United in just the last 4 months. And United, as you remember, combined, they merged with Continental, and they have been having some computer issues as far as joining their networks together. So with the United problem, that I was a little bit less concerned about, even following up with what we saw was hacking when it was done to airlines in Poland. And I don't want to say that our airlines are not susceptible. They are hackable. And this is something that really the General Accountability Office has already issued reports on, that the airlines have got to do a better job of security. I think it's more of a coincidence that they happen today, but they both show our dependence on these systems and the vulnerability of these systems.
Now, we all agree that this seems like a pretty big deal, pretty rare for something like this to happen, which has me wondering, what are the ramifications of something like this occurring? What kind of impact could this have?
You know, I hope this is the shot across the bow. I wrote a column for USA Today a couple of weeks ago about the hacking of the Office of Personnel Management, which I think was an incredible event. I saw it as a cyber 9/11. We are under attack here in the United States, our institutions, from cyber criminals. And whether they are terrorist groups, whether they are foreign countries, we are vulnerable. Our infrastructure is vulnerable. Our electric grid is vulnerable. And we've got to do something now before we have a real 9/11 of technology in order to protect ourselves.
I have to imagine, though, that Stephen J.J., Wall Street is heavily protected. The highest, the most technologically advanced security measures are in place. So are we not doing enough? Or do you think at some point it's just this constant battle? If it is a terrorist or some sort of cyber attack, that the hackers are just one step ahead of the security officials in this particular case?
Yeah, it is that the hackers, they come up with what they call zero-day exploits. And these are when there is no precedent for the kind of software they're using. Part of the problem with Wall Street is it has so many computers that are interconnected and have access. All you need is that vulnerability at one that can get into the entire network. So it does have to do a better job. They have done okay to date, but you have to recognize that this is a prime target, and we've got to protect this target.
But we also want to reiterate to our viewers that are tuning in, we still don't know exactly what caused this. And I know that you were looking online and some people were kind of joking around. Is it possible, Stephen, that it could just be a fluke and it could be nothing, that there really was just a technical error, something went bad, somebody, you know, was not paying attention to certain things and not an actual hack?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm probably more inclined at this point to think it is that, rather than a hack attack or the initial attempt to see how vulnerable the system is. But it still brings up the issue of the computers that we depend on. They can break down, and we have to recognize this will happen. We've got to do a better job, because whether it's attackers from outside or flaws in the system, we're too dependent on these computers. So we've got to make sure they are fail-safe.
I have to know, because you're always in the know with things. Do you have people texting you right now and everybody asking you what's going on? Are you hearing any rumors buzzing around?
I do, but I kind of put them off because the rumors, they're going to go crazy. And that's one of the things about social media and the texting that we have now. There are going to be all kinds of outlandish theories. And we don't want to jump to any conclusion other than there have been technical problems. What caused those, we don't know, but technical problems are not acceptable.
All right, Stephen J.J. Weisman, thanks so much for joining us here on Newsmax Now. Good to have you. We appreciate all your insight.
Thank you. So many effects that this is going to cost millions and millions of dollars. So many exchanges and so many trades affected by this glitch. Story that we're going to continue to follow for you right here on Newsmax Now.